Woodlawn to order, November 28, 2023. Can I have, will all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father God, right now, we just want to pause and thank you for allowing us to come here to the village of Woodlawn today just to make what is best for the village. Lord, we ask that you purge our hearts, our minds, that we make the right decisions for the village of Woodlawn. Lord, we ask that all that is here for the good of this village tonight, we ask that you give them traveling mercies on their way home. These blessings in thy son Jesus' name, and we ask, amen. Amen. Roll call, please.
Mayor Bull.
Present.
Esther Boyd. Present. Rosemary Brown. Present. Cindy Chandler.
Present.
Pamela Fitzgerald.
Present.
Robert Lawson.
Present.
Aaron Tillman III.
Here.
Very well. I need a motion to approve the regular council meeting from October 30th, 2023 with any corrections, deletions, or additions to the minutes in front of us.
I'll make a motion that we approve the council meeting from, was it October 23rd?
30th.
30th, I'm sorry, with any corrections needed.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes.
Aye.
There are no nays. Very well. We have an appointment, confirmation, and presentation. This is our pinning ceremony for our new chief here in the village of Woodlawn. Please, Chief Kevin Williams. Kevin, if you would be so kind enough to meet me at the podium, please. Tonight, we are moving on our next chapter here in the village of Woodlawn. We have been without a chief since last April of this year, and it is our honor that this council has selected you, appointed you, confirmed you as our next chief, as our chief here in the village of Woodlawn. And so those are from the community. I see our comrades here. This is just good stuff here in the village of Woodlawn, makes us feel good. So Kevin, without further ado, we want to do it the right way. And so we're going to make it official for our residents here in the village of Woodlawn. If you would be so kind to raise your right hand for me and repeat after me. I state your name, please.
I, Kevin Williams,
On my honor.
on my honor,
I will never betray my dad,
I will never betray my badge,
my integrity,
my integrity,
my character,
my character,
or the public trust.
or the public trust.
I will always
I will always
have the courage
have the courage
to hold myself and others
to hold myself and others
accountable for our actions.
accountable for
I do solemnly swear that I will
I do solemnly swear that I will
uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Ohio,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Ohio,
and the village of Woodlawn Charter,
and the Village of Woodlawn Charter,
bylaws,
bylaws,
ordinances, and resolutions
ordinances, and resolutions
as a police chief,
as a police chief,
without favor or affection,
without favor or affection,
malice or ill will,
malice or ill will,
until I am rightfully discharged.
until I am rightfully discharged. So help me God.
As the mayor of the village of Woodlawn, I do appoint you to the police chief here in the village of Woodlawn. Congratulations, Kevin. You are here. I cannot move any further without recognizing are very proud of this tonight, and without further ado, Ms. Williams, you're gonna pin Dad. How about that?
Next chief.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the village of Woodlawn, please, our new police chief, Mr. Kevin D. Williams. Chief, is there anything that you'd like to say from the podium? Not that easy?
Oh, well, I have all these cameras on me, so I'm a little nervous.
That's all right.
All right.
If I may, I just want to say a few things. First and foremost, thank you for coming out on this cold night. I appreciate everybody being here. Woodlawn encapsulates what a community should be and what a community is. I grew up here. I've lived in other cities, I've lived in other states, but this community raised me. So I took everything that Woodlawn gave me, all the other cities and states, helped me get through life. Now I'm back where it all started. So it's a great feeling. I feel now that everything that Woodlawn has given me, now it's my turn to give back.
All right.
I can't possibly thank everybody. We don't have enough time tonight to thank everybody. But I do want to thank my family. Thank you for listening to all the rants and raves, and me talking to myself, and all the mood swings, and all of that. I appreciate it. Thank you for keeping me grounded. Officers of the Woodlawn Police Department. Officers, thank you for choosing to start your career here under my leadership. I'm really grateful for all of you who want to work here. For the officers who stayed during the bad times, and you know what bad times I'm talking about. You made it. Thank you for believing in me. Assistant Chief Lawson, Sergeant Josh Kelly, could not have done it without them.
All right.
We went through a really bad spell. So.
Good. Very well.
Village Manager Timmy.
Yeah.
We called him the wrist slapper. He told me, whenever he told me no, through all of our disagreements this past year, we disagreed, but it was always a professional disagreement. He always listened to my thoughts, my ideas. Never called me crazy to my face. Always tried to help me make it to my goal. So for that, I appreciate it.
All right.
I'll give you an amen on that.
All right.
And ladies and gentlemen of the council and mayor, couldn't have done it without you. My predecessor, Chief Tillman, thank you, thank you. Thank you for believing in me. I appreciate it from everyone.
You're very welcome.
I'm going to leave with this. As it pertains to Woodlawn, a lot of you probably do not know that my uncle, great-uncle, George Williams, was one of the first African-American officers in this community back in the 50s.
Yes, he was.
Uncle George got my dad, Big John. John Williams became an officer in the 60s here. He was the chief from the 70s to the 90s. So,
You here for a while.
it is my honor, it is my privilege to serve this community. I thank you all. Everybody in this room has helped me. I get to serve this community from the department of my great uncle George. from office. I sit in the same office as my father.
It's awesome.
Again, it's my privilege, my honor, and I will not let you down.
Amen. I know that that is just heartwarming to us, but I know I can't let him off the hook this easy. Our finance director / interim manager have something that he'd like to share with the public as well. Mr. Engel.
Mayor Poole asked me to share the appointments that I gave to Chief Williams last month. And I was actually thinking about this today. I've updated a little bit because when I wrote this originally, I was really careful not to refer to him as Chief and Chief, because even though we thought of him that way, and that's what we called him in the hallways and meetings, it wasn't official yet. I wanted the first person to say Chief when home, and that night I wanted to be special for a moment. And I wanted that title to carry the honor and dignity it was supposed to in that night, so I hope it did. But now you can update and I can call you Chief. I want to take this opportunity to say a few words about Chief Kevin Williams. Chief Williams was appointed to the role of interim chief upon Chief Tillman's retirement at the end of December of last year. Chief Williams' time in office has been different than others that held that position. Due to a national shortage of police officers and increase in compensation, Chief Williams began his time as interim chief with a smaller staff than his predecessors. Even after the village adjusted police salaries, several officers had already left service with the village of Woodlawn, and this left holes in staffing. Chief Williams strategically sought out experienced officers to fill open positions and successfully recruited some of the best lateral transfers the village has seen in several years. Chief Williams has also brought new ideas in policing to the village, such as the recommendation for flock cameras. So by the way, I don't call all these ideas. These will assist in providing better police services to the village, as well as make easier collaboration with our neighboring agencies. Chief Williams understands that police officers never stop learning. Chief Williams is formally committed to continue his own education and encourages his staff to do the same. This encouragement was recognizable this month when the Woodlawn Police Department's command staff was certified in the FBI Law Enforcement Executive Development Training Trilogy. The Woodlawn Police Department is now recognized as an FBI lead agency, a credential enjoyed by very few police departments. Chief Williams and I have had several conversations over the past year. On professional level, Chief Williams understands budgets, which is near and dear to my heart, but he's also used each department as part of a larger team with our goal of helping each other and supporting each other. On a personal level, Chief Williams and I have bonded over our own shared history. Both of us are sons of former village officers, the police chief, my finance director. Both of us are proud graduates of Roger Bay.
Go Bikes.
Both of us have sons that wear us out from time to time. Because of the great work and accomplishments that have taken place under his leadership, I would like to appoint my colleague, my friend, and one of Woodlawn's greatest sons, Kevin Williams, as the chief.
Mayor, can I just have 2 seconds? Everything that was said to Kevin is true. I wholeheartedly believe it, but I know words were said toward your mother, and I just want to give her praises now, because you've been the leader behind a wonderful law enforcement family, and we thank you for that from the bottom of our hearts.
All right. All right. Wow. That was a mouthful again. Congratulations, Chief Williams. We're excited. We're excited. We're excited where we're going. We're going to go ahead and continue to move in the agenda that's printed in front of us. Clerk, are there any petitions from the public?
There are none.
Very well. Committee reports. Committee of the Whole was canceled in the month of November. Recreation Committee, Ms. Rosemary Brown, please.
The Recreation Committee meeting was held on November the 16th. At that meeting, we had basically a report on an analysis that we had done on our recreation department. And a lot of good things came out of that meeting. And there are a lot of things that we're going to be looking into and possibly working on. So basically, that was pretty much the gist of the meeting. And there's more to come regarding the analysis that was done.
Very well. Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Brown in Recreation? All right.
I do.
Yes.
Has there been another meeting set?
There has not been another meeting set, but I do believe the village manager spoke about it in his report, where him and the recreation director is going to be at some point in time shortly meeting to discuss some of the things that were mentioned in the analysis.
Okay, thank you.
Very well. All right. Finance Committee, Ms. Fitzgerald.
Yes. The Finance Committee meeting was November 20th at 7 p.m. The meeting was called to order at 7:08. Members present was myself and Ms. Boyd. I will start with the income tax update. The village collected $849,061.01 in taxes. It was distributed by fund as follows. The general fund, $676,295.55. Road tax, $110,747.09. Debt, $39,868.95. And capital projects of $22,149.42, with a total of $849,061.01. Since inception from 2019 to 2023, we have collected $4,157,314.04. We have dispersed $1,793,997.46, and the fund balance as of today is $2,363,316.58. And I will leave the remainder of this finance meeting minutes to our finance director.
Thank you.
That concludes what I have.
All right. Any questions for Ms. Fitzgerald in Finance? Having no questions. Municipal Managers Report.
Thank you. I think everybody has the memo I prepared in their packets. So let's kind of go over some of this briefly. I know we kind of leave things on here so we don't forget about them. June 10th, 2024, we'll start those meetings with call to play next year. Lee Crest Road, Redna Terrace, we are still working on the engineering for that particular road project that will take place next year. Our HR audit, potential HR company, the law director has reviewed the various contracts with the HR company, so I will circle back with them and see if we can't get something going before next year starts. Lawn and leaf pickup with Rumpke, as we discussed previously. The Hamilton County Resource cannot provide funding for trash cans, only recycling cans. Rumpke does not have yard waste cans specifically. So we'll need to circle back and determine what we wish to do with lawn and leaf pickup. I have spoken to a company locally that can potentially help out with grass cutting here in the village, and talking to Ms. Banks and Mr. Weaver. And our hope is that if we kind of get together and put a schedule together, perhaps by alleviating some of the grass cutting, that will allow Public Works to renew lawn and leaf pickup, which is a lot more convenient for our village. Our baseball fields, we received an estimate to update the baseball fields. We're looking at that as a capital project for next year. Ronnie Road and Woodstock timeline. Spoke with Neiman Construction last week. There were a couple items that would be part of a change order tonight, but more importantly, due to the additional work that Neiman performed to Mayview Forest. The original completion date for the road project was delayed, and consequently the temperature has dropped to such a degree that the last layer of asphalt they would put on Ronnie and Woodstock would likely not take hold correctly. We were afraid it wouldn't set properly. So knowing that, the crew will finish up any work that they can, and they'll come back in spring to completely finish the project. I did just speak with Neiman today, and there's a little bit more work that we'll do on the manhole covers to make sure that those are safe if anybody plows the streets or anything like that. And we'll talk more about that committee of the whole. But for right now, the big news is that that project will be completed in the spring. I will go ahead and compose letters for the residents of Ronnie and Woodstock to let them know the timeline as well as what to expect moving forward.
Okay.
And we'll send those out before the end of this week.
Okay.
Recreations Department Program Analysis, Ms. Brown spoke about that. We had the analysis. I will be meeting with the Recreations Director. I believe we planned a date for late this week, if I'm not mistaken. Thursday, thank you. To go over the analysis, look at pricing for recreations, and try to put together some goals. We'll share that with Council at Committee of the Whole. Recreation Summer Camp 2024, we spoke about this at Finance Committee. And the folks that were at Finance Committee had agreed that it's probably best to perhaps try to look into contracting the summer camp out. We'll go ahead and continue to speak with the council members about that, and we'll make arrangements with the vendors to go ahead and make that happen. Hamilton County Revitalization Grant. Obviously, all purchase contracts are completed. There was an amendment to that contract. We're pushing the closing date out so that the owner can relocate his renters. But that will be approved tonight. And we'll close on that property the first quarter of next year and keep moving forward with that. The Springfield Pike and Gruninger improvements. I met with CT Consultants last week to discuss the Gruninger improvements, which include sidewalk improvements. Also met with Dan Ferguson. We'll likely start some letters to go out to the business owners on the Pike and Gruninger about some potential right-of-way acquisitions we'll need to make to put in those sidewalks. Glendale Milford Road sidewalk improvements. Again, we received $470,000 from SORTA as part of a grant that was awarded this year to put sidewalks in on Glendale Milford Road. And those will run from Chester Road to Wayne Avenue. And we'll probably work on the engineering for that in 2024. My sense is we'll probably start on the actual construction in 2025 if this timeline works out the same way as it did on the last one. The We Thrive grant, our recreations director applied for and received notice of funding for a $35,000 grant from We Thrive. This will be used to continue programs established this year, such as swim classes in 2024. Salt barn construction. There were some complications and delays with the construction of the new salt barn. The construction team did work with Hamilton County to obtain the appropriate approvals for the construction of the salt barn. They estimated that their completion date will be between December the 8th and the 15th. That's very hopeful. As a precaution, we did reach out to our neighbors to request permission to borrow salt in case of early December inclement weather. Our neighbors in Wyoming as well as Evendale did respond and said they would be happy to help us if the situation arose. So thank you to Evendale and Wyoming for that.
Very well.
Flock cameras, we are getting our quotes together for flock cameras as well as the dash cameras for the police department. And we'll make sure that we have that together for Committee of the Whole and Council next month. Regional Safety Complex, I don't have any new updates on that. We did attend a meeting September the 7th where it was noted that the new gun range would be constructed by the middle to end of 2025. So still good news, still moving forward. Tri-State Trails is continuing with their feasibility study to continue with the bike trails. I actually went to we'll call it a field trip meeting today where we all met in Sharonville and looked at some of the sites where they were going to continue the trails, and we made it up into Glendale a little bit. They'll continue with those meetings. And it's a very interesting process, right? Because you're building infrastructure between several municipalities. You're going through various areas, some of which are protected, some of which are owned by railroad companies. And so you do really have a deep appreciation as you move forward of the amount of work it takes to continue with that trail. Canoes and Conversations, as we've discussed previously, Canoes and Conversations would like to have their annual event here in the village of Woodlawn. They're tentatively looking at June 1st for that event. They're working with Great Parks as well as other entities, but the goal will be to ask the Army Corps of Engineers to release water from the dam to increase the level of water in this area of the Mill Creek so we can actually canoe from here in Woodlawn at the Mill Creek all the way down to North Park in Wyoming. So really exciting stuff. We've got a lot of work to do there yet, but hoping to get all that done and have a great event here in June. Neighborhood Allies. Now, I know I've talked to some of my council members about this. We met with Neighborhood Allies in early November. Neighborhood Allies is a nonprofit organization founded in 2016 that helps to close the gap between the people in need and existing services. They work one-on-one with people to help meet both long and short-term needs. One of the services Neighborhood Allies offers is assistance with filling out paperwork or entering information into web portals for various social programs offered by the county and the state or other entities. They also assist people in obtaining state IDs, expunging records, and obtaining mental health services. We believe the group's mission is extremely beneficial to our residents as well as those in the neighboring communities, and we've discussed having Neighborhood Allies work out of the Recreation Center one day a month starting in January next year. We have a follow-up meeting on December the 8th, and we're very excited about the potential partnership. All services provided by Neighborhood Allies are free. They're funded through state and county grants, and the group has worked with the 513 bus on several occasions. I've included a flyer, which I don't know if it made it in here, but I've included a flyer or I can send everybody a flyer related to Neighborhood Allies as well. But we're allowed to have, we can have 2 council members without breaking any laws. So if any council members want to join us at the meeting on the 8th, I'm happy to have you there just so you can learn a little bit more about the group.
Real quickly, will they be available to present to us at Cal?
I was trying to get that done. She did have another commitment during Cal. She was working with the Cincinnatus group as well.
Okay.
But as soon as we can get the group down to speak to us, we'd be happy to do that.
It sounds like based on when you brought this up, it brings value to the residents here in the village of Woodlawn for some of the things that can come out of the services. So I'm hoping that if we don't have a presentation on Cal, on the floor of Cal,
Sure.
That any additional questions that council may have, direct them to you,
Yes.
so that hopefully we can move forward with a kind of a thumbs up, whichever direction. But I really do see some value to this service for everybody in the village. So I'm hoping that we kind of adopt this. I like this idea.
Absolutely.
Yes, thanks.
And if anybody has any questions, please send them to me.
Absolutely.
And I'll see if maybe I can ask Monica to sit in on that meeting and take
Okay.
some minutes for us. We
Okay.
can send it out to the team as well.
Very well. No
You
worries.
said it's December the 8th,
December the 8th, yes.
at what time?
I believe it's in the afternoon, but I can send you that time.
Okay,
Absolutely send it to you.
thank you.
It's Thursday the
Do you know
8th.
what day that's?
It's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Well, I take that back. Is that a Friday?
It's a Friday.
That's good.
It make me think that it's a
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, that's good.
Right, because I'm like, wait a minute, tree lighting is the first, so, okay, it's right, okay, got it, all right.
Senate Bill 33, recently passed Senate Bill 33 increased property tax exemptions related to commercial or industrial projects from 50% to 75% community revitalization areas or CRAs, without the need to obtain approval from the school board. The village will pass legislation to update its CRA percentages to reflect the changes in Senate Bill 33. The village negotiates those abatements on a case-by-case basis. basis. I don't know why I can't speak.
Tongue-tied.
But that will allow us to utilize the bill to be as effective as possible.
Good.
Our fire department has obtained an equipment grant. They obtained this a while ago, and I don't know if we talked about it. They obtained an equipment grant in the amount of $68,000 from FEMA for the purchase of 3 chest compression devices and warranties. The village will match that grant at 5% per the grant requirements. Total matching amount is $3,406.86.
Excellent.
I was thinking the equipment will be purchased in 2024. We might actually get that in '23, so we'll go ahead and
Excellent.
update legislation to reflect that so we can make that purchase and purchase the equipment properly
Good stuff.
here in December.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just as an update, the fire department received BWC grants, one in the amount of $12,500 for additional turnout gear, as well as one in the amount of $40,000 for the purchase of a new power cot for our 3rd ambulance. So Carter and Amos and the team are working hard to get some new equipment for the fire department through granting opportunities.
That's great.
The fire department, and we've kind of discussed this a little bit, the fire department has also aggressively been pursuing opportunities related to transport services. These services would be offered to local retirement homes through contracts. Billing would occur through MediCount, which processes all the village EMS payments. Preliminary contracts have been reviewed by the law director. We are waiting for a response from our insurance provider to determine if any additional insurance coverage will be needed to take part in these services. Based on preliminary estimates, we believe this additional billed service could go a long way in subsidizing services related to the fire department and has real potential to subsidize other village services as well. So, good stuff from the fire department.
Good stuff. Yes.
And that is all I have.
Okay.
Municipal manager's report, unless any of you have some questions.
Ms. Fitzgerald?
Yes, I have one question in regards to Ronnie Road in Woodstock.
Sure.
You had said that the timeline is getting moved out to the spring, and you're going to
It
provide
will.
that information.
It
But I
will.
wanted to know about the overall cost of how much we have to pay up front, how much we still owe in the back end in regards to this project.
So the total original cost of the project was $1.7 million. We've had some change orders. One of those change orders included additional work done to Mayview Forest to install water mains and things of that nature. The total new cost of the, I don't have the exact number of the total new cost, I can get that for you, but I can tell you in terms of what we've paid out so far, it's just been a little over $500,000. So I know they have one more invoice coming that is being reviewed by the architects, or the engineers rather, but we've not come close to paying the entirety of that
And
work.
that's something that we're considering holding and working out, because this timeline
Yeah,
is getting pushed out, so we want to hold a
yes,
significant amount of money until
yeah, no,
this
that's
project is
correct.
completed.
That's
Even
right.
though, I mean, the delay is spring, but I think it
Hold
would be
it.
in our favor to try to figure that out.
Yeah, we wouldn't pay
We
until
wouldn't
that
pay until
portion of the work
It's done.
Yeah,
Correct.
we have to pay for the work that's been performed thus far,
Correct.
because they have to pay their employees,
Yeah,
but
Right.
we won't pay any more than that.
Right.
Okay.
Ms.
Mayor,
Boyd?
I have-
One moment.
oh,
Ms. Boyd? You had your hand up? No?
No, I
Oh,
was
okay.
waiting at the little boy.
Oh, okay. Ms. Chan?
Follow-up question, Tim, and you and I have been talking a lot about the road projects. For the second half of the road projects, do we think we should have a project manager that represents Woodlawn on site?
You know, I think it's
We talked about that.
It's always nice if you can get that done. I know that for this particular project, Mr. Williams has gone up on several occasions just to review things. CT Consultants has made sure they have eyes on it as well. And I know that the safety services chiefs have been great about just sort of going up, shaking a look, making sure things look safe, making sure the residents are okay. But yeah, I think especially as we get into next year, with all the projects that are going to occur, it could be very beneficial to at least have a contracted employee just that has some construction experience and can kind of keep some eyes on things for us. So we'll
Okay.
probably look into that.
Okay,
Okay,
good stuff.
thank
Very
you.
well. Any- Yes, sir.
Can I ask you a question?
Very quickly, yes.
My name is Charles Hughes. I go by Chaz, and I wanted to address the Woodlawn, Ronnie Road
Yes, sir.
contract thing. Okay, addressing the streets, but what about the property lines? Because where they lay the pipe and they dug out, like my property goes right before you start, it descends right to Mayview.
Okay,
And now I basically have a moat in front of my house.
okay.
Where they dug, where they call them the trenches so that the water would drain.
Mhm.
But now it looks like a moat. And it's,
Well-
if somebody's walking in the dark and they don't really, it's a hazard for somebody to trip into, break an ankle, for animals.
Sure.
It's really deep. It's not nothing that's, I have pictures that gotta help you.
Yeah. What's the,
You're welcome to send them. Would really help if you can, and if you want to do it after the meeting, that's fine too. If you can give me your property address, I'll have the engineering firm and everybody take a look at that and see what.
yeah,
Yes,
what
sir.
is the address?
10090.
10090
Woodstock, 10,009.
Woodstock. Okay.
There's a couple other properties that's the same, but I guess I'm
All
not
right.
one here speaking up for it, but
Ten-
it's a really terrible job, to say the least.
Right.
You're doing the streets,
Mhm.
but as far as the properties, I know they knocked over a couple of mailboxes, but they since put them back up.
Okay.
And even in the back of my mailbox, it's like a right drop off, right off the back of my mailbox.
Okay.
Tim,
So anybody could come
Yeah.
over.
push, right. Tim,
And
if you
thank you.
could, take a ride up there tomorrow,
Sure
if,
will.
tomorrow is Wednesday, I think Mr. Leroy will be in, hopefully.
will.
He'll agree to go up with you and have you guys take a look at that, put your eyes on it, right?
Yep.
So you understand where we need to go and who need to get involved. We appreciate that, though.
Absolutely.
It's
Thank
good,
you.
good
Thank you for
stuff for
bringing that
us.
forward.
Good
I
stuff.
appreciate it.
Yes, very well. All right. Where we were. All right. Thank you, Pam. Finance Director's Report. Thanks, Pam. Keep me on my toes. Thank you.
Let's see. So we'll kind of pick up where
I mean,
Ms.
Yeah.
Fitzgerald left off after taxes. Finance Committee was provided with appropriations reports. As of October 31, 2023, the village collected 78% of budget revenues and expended 56% of appropriations. Receipts and expenses reports were also provided for the month of October. The village collected $781,815.84 and dispersed $1,683,453.93. Additional payments in October included a $411,724 payment and related to debt payments, and a payment of $561,645 related to Ronnie and Woodstock, which is the payment for those roads. General fund disbursements are higher than total village disbursements, where the village has dispersed 78% of general fund budgeted expenditures and collected 102% of total general fund budgeted receipts. Fund balance reports were included as part of the packets, as well as the bank reconciliation, overtime and salary expense reports. We very briefly discussed recreation income versus receipts, and then we reviewed some draft legislation related to the 2024, we reviewed or you were provided with a draft of the 2024 budget, and as well as draft legislation for police and fire salaries in 2024. I believe that was all we talked about during Finance Committee.
very well. Any questions for Mr. Engel? With that being said, Ms. Fitzgerald, we do need approval of the bank reconciliation receipt listing and payment listing.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the bank reconciliation, receipt listing, and payment listing.
I'll second the motion.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes.
Aye.
There are no nays. Very well. Law Director's Report.
The only thing I wanted to remind council of is that since this was a year in which we had the election for mayor, it means that next year is a charter review year. What that means is every member of council, as well as the mayor, will select a citizen to serve on the charter review committee. The charter review committee is appointed at the January meeting, and between February and June, they work to come up with recommendations on any revisions or amendments to the charter, which council then reviews and votes on in July as to whether or not to advance any of those proposed amendments to the electorate at the next November election. As a reminder, those folks they schedule their own meetings, they keep their own minutes, they tend to meet with all of the department heads and folks who might be able to provide some input on what is working, what can be done better, how to make the charter a good working tool for the village.
So, Emily, you said the meeting in June, is that the council meeting, or would that be the organizational meeting?
So under the charter, they're appointed in January, and they make the presentation to council in July. I'm sorry if I misspoke, if I meant June. They work through June to come up with their presentation, and then they present in July, and that tends to be the same council meeting that council has to vote on to get it to the Board of
Right.
Elections in time to get it to the
Sure.
ballot. So obviously, if the charter review committee is done sooner than that, they can present sooner, but under the charter, they then have to again present at that last July meeting, at which time council can take action.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And with that, if I could ask, because I have been thinking about that moving forward into 2024, if we could have those individuals, now that we kind of know that that's what we got to do January moving forward, if we could have those the first week of January would be very helpful, so I can send out a letter to those individuals so that they can start forming their meetings and all that good stuff. Kind of want to put them on track a little earlier. I recall 4 years ago that track kind of came off a little slow, so want to give them all the time that they deserve to do what they need to do. So if we could have those names available. Michelle, I know you're in the audience. That does include you as well. Again, you'll select someone from the village to represent that body. So again, we just would ask that we have that the first week of January, thank you, of 2024. If you have any questions behind that, you and I can talk offline about that, but that's just how that process works. Okay?
Just real quick,
Sure.
how often,
Every 4 years.
how often are that committee meeting? Is that, are they
That's
meeting once a
determined
month?
by
That's
the chair.
determined by
They
them.
decide themselves.
Yes.
They decide themselves how often they need to meet. They tend to meet at least monthly, sometimes it's twice a month. In the past, they've also hired a secretary, and some charter reviews have hired a secretary to keep notes, others have just kept the notes themselves. It's really up to the committee to make that decision.
Okay. Again, that's within themselves. They will select a chairperson, secretary, all that good stuff within that rank. Yeah.
And the last time I attended several of those early meetings just to kind of give some direction. But some of the folks who have been on it before, they have served in previous charter reviews, and so they have some experience and kind of know what to expect. So it just depends on, who gets selected and asked to serve, whether or not they're familiar with the process or not.
Okay. Very well. All
And
right.
if you may want to add, this is a document that will go before the voters.
That's right.
In the fall. Correct. Okay. Very well.
That's all I have.
That's all you have?
Yes,
All
thank
right, very well. All right, Mayor's report. So again, I always talk about school safety. It's getting closer, the holidays, it's getting colder, it's darker out there. I'm noticing when I'm leaving for school in the morning, these speeders are out here. But again, our police department are doing a fine job making sure that the streets are safe, but just never a bad time, just a reminder of the school safety of those precious children that are out there. We just want to be cognitive about that. I do want to make sure that the public out there in TV land knows about the tree lighting celebration, which is Friday, December the 1st, from 6 to 9 at the Recreation Center. It's always a wonderful time. We have a wonderful, wonderful time. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see Santa Claus down there, and hopefully Miss Claus will be with him this year as well. But we always have a wonderful, wonderful time down there. So again, that's on Friday, December the 1st, from 6 to 9 at the Recreation Center. So we're just excited about that. That's all that I have in the report for today. So with that being said, we can move into legislation.
We do need a motion to approve.
Oh, I got one thing. Thank you. Cindy, I'm sorry. Vice Mayor?
You're fine. So I'd like to ask for a motion to approve Mayor's Court monthly statement for the month of October in the amount of $26,194.16.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and properly second. All ayes?
Aye.
There are no nays. Thank you. We'll move right into legislation.
The first item is Resolution 37, 2023, a resolution initiating an amendment to the official zoning map of the Village of Woodlawn, Ohio, to rezone certain property in the Village of Woodlawn from Springfield Pike Overlay District to Industrial Park District.
Very well. I need a motion for passage of resolution number 37, 2023.
I'll make a motion for passage of resolution number 37, 2023.
I'll
second.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'll
No,
second it.
no, go ahead.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the passage, please.
Esther Boyd,
Aye.
Rosemary Brown,
Aye.
Cindy Chandler,
Aye.
Pamela Fitzgerald. Aye. Robert Lawson,
Aye.
Aaron Tillman III.
Nice.
Yes.
So on this diagram, there's some properties that are currently in there being cut out?
So currently, all those properties are in the overlay,
In the overlay.
and they're going to be removed from the overlay, which has additional regulations,
Correct.
and they'll just be industrial parks.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Aye.
Very well.
Thank you.
Motion.
Yes.
Very well.
The next item is Resolution 38, 2023, a resolution authorizing the interim municipal manager to enter into a First Amendment to a purchase and sale agreement to acquire certain property in the Village of Woodlawn.
I need a motion for passage of resolution number 38, 2023.
I'd like to make a motion for passage of resolution number 38, 2023.
I'll second.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the passage, please.
Rosemary Brown,
Aye.
Cindy Chandler,
Aye.
Pamela Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Robert Lawson,
Excuse me, aye.
Aaron Tillman III,
Aye.
Esther Boyd.
Aye.
The next item is Resolution 39, 2023, a resolution approving a change order to the contract with Fred A. Neiman Company for the Ronnie Road and Woodstock Drive Improvement Project.
I need a motion for passage of resolution number 39, 2023.
I just have,
Question, Cindy? Ms. Jensen, go ahead.
what was the change order for? I know it's in front of me, but you can answer before I can read it.
The change order included, I believe it was the guardrail, the stump, there was a stump grinding for a tree that was removed. And I believe there was some additional concrete work.
I just wanted to make sure the guardrail was in there. Okay.
Is that the curb, property edge
We're
line?
not getting curbs. No,
That's
we'll
not
talk
that
about
one.
that.
Pam?
So the amount that's on here is $1.6 million, but I thought it was $1.7 million. Am I looking at this right?
The original price was $1.6 million. There was a previous change order approved in the amount of, I think,
It
like
was
$68,000.
$68,000.
Something.
That was approved last month, I
Month.
think.
Mhm.
And so this is addition to that change order.
Okay,
I can send you all of the previous ones if you like.
okay.
Yep.
I'm good.
I don't think-
Clerk, Monica,
think
did
there
I
was
put
a
a motion
question.
on the floor?
I think
It
there
was a question.
before the motion.
So I'm
It
gonna.
was.
It was? Okay. I need a motion for passage of resolution 39, 2023.
I'll make a motion for passage of resolution number 39, 2023.
I'll second.
Motion been moved and properly second. Roll call on the passage, please.
Cindy Chandler,
Aye.
Pamela Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Robert Lawson,
Aye.
Aaron Tillman III,
Aye.
Esther Boyd, Rosemary Brown.
Aye.
Very well.
That's all we have.
All right, legislation. All right. Is there any new business that comes before this council?
Yes.
Miss-
I'd like to
Ms.
call
Chandler.
an executive session Woodlawn Code of Ordinance, Section 220.01G1, to discuss an employment of a public employee.
Does that need a second?
Second.
I'll second.
Motion been moving, properly second. Roll call, please.
Esther Boyd.
Aye.
Rosemary Brown.
Aye.
Cindy Chandler.
Aye.
Pamela Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Robert Lawson.
Aye.
Aaron Tillman III.
Aye.
No action will be taken.
Who is
Right.
invited into the,
Council and Emily.
Yes, and Mayor.
Emily. Council and Emily. We'll go in the,
all right,
so he can break down. We'll go in the conference room.
and then we'll come out.
Thank you.
Mhm.